Hi, welcome to One Eye on the Page. This is Scott. It is Tuesday, May 23rd. I was actually supposed to start the vlog yesterday, but circumstances prevented me from doing so. So, quick catch up on everything that's going on. I am roughly two-thirds of the way through 50 Words for Rain by Asha Lemmie. It's not getting any happier, but it's not the type of novel that I would think would be opened up to a lot of happiness. I'm worried about the direction it's going in, but I won't make too many more comments on it until I've finished it. Which, if I do not do tomorrow, I will probably at least by Friday. So I'm gonna make this vlog a little bit short this week because I am going on vacation a couple weeks, so I want to make sure I film them in a way to be able to put them up on YouTube in a manner I want. I am also reading The Golden Compass on audiobook. I discovered yesterday that there's an hour long interview with the author in it. So right now I am at 1 hour and 59 minutes remaining. So I actually have 59 minutes remaining, which means that I will finish the book tomorrow. It is much better than I was expecting last week. The protagonist, has more agency now than she did at the beginning. I did mention that I wasn't particularly happy with the chosen one trope, which definitely is in play here, but it's doing much better. The one thing that I really like about this is that while information is being kept from her, she's just not placidly taking it like so many chosen ones do. She is actually seeking out the information. So I should have a review for that tomorrow, or at least I will go over it based on past experience. I will give the star rating, if not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. I'm also still reading Spoon River Anthology and the short story collection. Once I finish with these two books, I will be reading those more in depth, as I want to finish all these books before the end of the month. I'm probably going to start another audiobook. I'm not sure which one yet. I have downloaded Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. It is the book that I haven't read before. I've seen the movie, and I have read Pride and Prejudice, and I think another book of hers. I believe I have started Emma, but I never finished it. So, Sense and Sensibility might be the next audio book I have. I will also start getting together books that I'm going to bring on my vacation. I will bring probably at least two romance novels because I'm making that video for 5 romance novels, a genre that I generally don't read. And I figure romances are generally easier. I'm going to some place that has a beach, although it's going to still be too cold to swim. And these types of books seem like beach reading material. I will probably bring 4 books. I have another couple picked out, but I will get more in depth on them next week. And I also talk about books that I hope to read in June. Not a TBR, but books that I hope to read because TBRs don't work for me. And I will also have some books on audiobook and Kindle that I will bring with me on vacation. I don't know if I will actually get to them. I'll probably get to the Kindle book on the plane. Whether or not I will be reading any of it while I'm on vacation, I don't know. The audiobook I will definitely read on the trip to the airport and the trip back, but whether or not I touch it at all on vacation, perhaps. I get the feeling that I've been told, because I'm going with Robin and her husband and my other kid, but that is information up to now. I will see you tomorrow. We'll definitely have finished a book, possibly two, but probably just the one. It's Wednesday, May 24th. This isn't going to be a long entry today. It's already late at night and I'm tired. So, I did finish both The Golden Compass and I watched 50 Words for Rain. I do have lots of thoughts on them. I will not talk about them tomorrow. Like I said, it's late and I have two cats on me now. What the hell? Uh, but I did finish both of those today. I did not mention yesterday, but I'm also reading Tortilla Flat by John Steinbeck, which I have mentioned before. I am a little bit over halfway through it. I mentioned before that Steinbeck kind of said it was like his Knights of the Round Table. I didn't think it was going to be quite so literal. He is using. Why? Ow. I think I lost it. Um, what's Steinbeck doing? Oh, he's using language that thous and these and such with early 20th century poor paisanos who often sleep in the grass. It's interesting. It's strange. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm more than halfway through, so we'll see. I also started on audiobook Sense and Sensibility, so we shall see how that goes. That really hurt. Am I bleeding? Um, but anyway, I got 50 Words for Rain that I did finish today, and The Golden Compass, which I did finish today. When I started 50 Words for Rain, I really liked the writing and had lots of troubles with the grandmother, but I thought it may be okay. When I started The Golden Compass, I did not like it, which for reasons I'll talk about tomorrow. But anyway, my experiences with these two books kind of did one of these things, what I was expecting versus what I got changed. So that's it for now. I will talk to you tomorrow and I'll let you know my thoughts on 50 Words for Rain and The Golden Compass. It is Thursday, May 25th. I have progressed a little bit further in Steinbeck's Tortilla Flat and Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, which I am listening to on audiobook. Haven't progressed really much further in Spoon River Anthology or the short story collection, which I'm going to, hi Ron, move forward on those two once I finish these two books. I did want to talk about the two books that I finished yesterday, 50 Words for Rain by Asha Lemmie and The Golden Compass by Phillip Pullman. I'm going to go and talk about Pullman's book first because I think I will have more to say about 50 Words for Rain. When I first started reading it, I mentioned that I don't really have any great enjoyment right now for Chosen One stories. Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings or any of those types of stories. I generally love those, but I think I had reached my fill of them. I'm changing my mind a little bit. I do think that the chosen one trope makes me a little bit hesitant, but if done correctly, it is still one that I'm willing to read. I just don't think at the beginning of the book that Pullman was pulling me in with it. Part of it was that Lyra didn't have any agency. Like a lot of chosen ones, she was basically told to do stuff without being told why, and just not having a lot of information, which I'd grown a bit tired of. But as the novel progressed, she wanted to find out more. She was actually seeking answers, and I think that drew me in a little bit. And also, a talking bear is always going to win me over a little bit, so there's a talking bear in there. Another thing that I liked about it is that at the beginning of the novel, Lyra thinks that her parents are dead, and she finds out in the novel that the people she thought were her parents were actually not, and her parents are alive. The thing I like about it is that she doesn't automatically just view them with loving eyes or just take in that their actions are always correct. In fact, one of her parents she is fairly antagonistic to, at least in this novel. I don't know how things go in future novels. But she doesn't take either of them at face value. She does assume some things that, it's not surprising that a 12-year-old girl would assume some things, but she just doesn't go into it with the eyes of innocence, just say, okay, she does get duped by both her parents at points in novel, but it makes sense. And I appreciated that it's just not, oh, parents, I love them, even though they've been fooling me. So I do have, some minor troubles with the novel. I do. It definitely ends on a cliffhanger, almost literally. And I prefer that even trilogies kind of have a cutting off point, and I don't feel like it gave us a good cutting off point. That's a minor quibble. I liked a lot of the characters in here, not so much at the beginning of the novel, but more as time progressed and we met more characters. I do think that I will probably read the second book in the series, but I don't feel like it's something that I necessarily need to do right away. So, for that reason, I'm going to give this book a 4 stars out of 5. I really liked a large portion of it, but the beginning was slow, and the beginning really had me feeling like I don't even know if I want to finish this book. It that left pretty quickly, but it was there, so that's why I don't rank it a little bit higher. Now we get to 50 Words for Rain. The most of the novel is set in Japan, and many of the characters are Japanese, including the main character, who is also half African American. Her father was an African American. I don't know if there's a culture difference. I know there's a cultural difference, but I don't know if there's a cultural difference that's making me not appreciate the novel as maybe other people would. I don't know an extreme lot about Japanese culture, probably no more than the person right in the middle of the bell curve. I don't think I have complete ignorance, but I don't know a lot. Most of what I know about Japanese culture is from watching Japanese wrestling. Japanese people hit really hard, and if they're in America, they'll spray you with mist. And I don't think that encompasses all that the Japanese people are about. So I'm looking at it at a point of view where I don't quite know the culture. Obviously, I know that respect and respect for your elders is a huge part of Japanese culture. That's a problem for me there. Not respecting your elders, but I feel that respect is earned more than just given. So having to respect people who are in no way respectable is not copacetic for me. Nori, the main character, is I think 11 or 12 at the beginning of the novel. Is dropped off with her grandparents, mainly her grandmother, because her grandfather is often not around. Her grandmother basically keeps her locked in the attic, punishes her for the smallest of infractions, makes it clear that while she is family, she only sees Nori as a bastard. Nori has a older half brother, Akira, who eventually comes there after his own father dies, and they form a bond. Although Akira is reserved, even more so, the author seems to suggest, than other Japanese people are. I'm going to go ahead and let you know now that I'm going to go into spoilers for this. So I will put a timestamp down here to let you know when spoilers for the book is over. So I'm going to tell you spoilers starting now. Skip ahead if you don't want them. Okay, the grandparents send Nori to a brothel that the grandfather owns and basically are going to make her a whore. She is bought out of the brothel by Akira. And Akira and his grandparents basically have an argument about Nori, and Akira sort of wins, although their grandfather attacks Nori, tries to kill her, basically. No basically about it, tries to kill her, but he does not succeed. So Akira and Nori live away from the grandparents, and Akira has agreed to marry and produce an heir for the family, which is a royal family, by the time he's 25. So years go by. Oh, also, side note, trigger warning, Nori is raped by Akira's friend Will, because I can't read a modern novel that's not a romance in which the main character is a woman without rape happening in it. I wouldn't even go on that tangent right now. I had a talk with Robin about it earlier, and there should be a Bechdel test for, books without rape scenes. But anyway, Will goes to Vienna for his music career, and he comes back Christmas Eve when he is, I believe, 21, I believe, because his birthday is on Christmas Eve also, for Nori performing in a concert. And there is a car accident that night, and Nori is injured, but Akira is killed. Nori goes off on basically a journey around the world a little bit, keeps away from everybody until she eventually goes to see Alice, her friend, who is also Will's cousin. And she meets a guy there that she, despite her not wanting to, falls in love with. She gets a letter from Japan that says her grandparents have died and she has to go back to claim money. Turns out her grandfather has died, but her grandmother actually has not. She is dying, but she has not died. And she wants Nori to marry to keep the name and produce a son to keep the family legacy. All that I understand, but the fact is, Nori agrees to it, and I don't see any reason why. Absolutely no reason why. The only thing that she basically gets out of it, and she's also pregnant with Noah, the man she's in love with his child, and it's a son, but obviously it's a bastard, so it can't be the heir. Why she agrees to it, the only thing she gets out of it is that she's going to close the brothel. I don't know if it's just because of a Japanese culture thing. The writer is also Japanese and African American. But I'm like, why did I read this novel for Nori's passivity just to be the final result? And I find it frustrating. There's so much lost potential there. And like I said, this could be all me just not culturally, link to the novel. And that could be it. It didn't work for me, the ending. And with the ending not working for me, the journey didn't work. Sometimes you can get the ending and it's not great, but the journey was still worth it. Some people say Stephen King does that. I just don't think that with the ending we got that the journey was worth it. Barring the last, I don't know, 50 pages or so, I may have given this a 3.5 possibly, but I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's a well written book. I didn't like the shifting narrative. It was written in third person, and then you would have multiple times where there would be a first person account. I don't like that. If you're going to do shifting points of views, I think it should be consistent. And I kind of mentioned the problem last week in Authentically Izzy, where it was an epistolary novel most of the way through it, but then it threw third person into it. I have a problem with I have the rules. You got to follow these rules. There are rules you can break and rules you can't break. And in my own opinion, the rules were broken here, and I didn't like it. So that is what I've read today. I will be back tomorrow. I'll probably talk more about Steinbeck's Tortilla Flat, and we'll talk to you then. It's Friday, May 26th. This is going to be my final vlog entry for the week. I'm trying to maneuver things so that I'm able to take vacation without interrupting anything. So, and also the vlog I filmed yesterday was pretty long since I was griping about stuff. I have gotten to about the 40% mark in Sense and Sensibility on audiobook. I have seen the movie before, haven't read the book that I remember. I almost wish I was reading the actual physical book because some of the dialogue, I kind of wish I could kind of ruminate on a little bit more than have it fly by. But I'm enjoying it so far. We'll see how the rest of it goes. I'm also probably like 60 to 70% of the way through Tortilla Flat by John Steinbeck. It's a really interesting book. I laughed a little bit when I first picked it up and had, read that Steinbeck kind of looked at it like his Knights of the Round Table kind of thing, but it actually reads like that. So I have not progressed any further in Spoon River Anthology and the short story collection. I'm going to finish at least Tortilla Flat, and then I'm going to try to get these other two books finished before the end of the month. So that's where I am right now. I will do my vlog entry next week talking about the books that I have hopefully finished, but also kind of going over what I will be reading on vacation. So until next time, thank you for visiting One Eye on the Page. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.